and welcome to another evening of frank conversation on Hard Copy, reaching you from Channels Television Studio in Lagos. I am Bukola Samuel Wemimo, standing in for your regular anchor, Maupe Ogun Yusuf. It is the consensus among political watchers that the Ogun State chapter of the PDP has continued to be befuddled with political intrigues lasting more than a decade, and that may have cost it many opportunities for election victories within the same period. While some believe that the Ogun PDP's inability to take back power from the ruling APC is the result of imposition of candidates by the party's National Working Committee, others believe members of the party in that state have simply been unable to put the house in order. Well, at the center of the current political impasse are three political heavyweights, namely Segun Sowunmi, Ladi Adebutu, and Jimi Lawal, all of whom are illustrious sons of the soil and eminently qualified for the governorship ticket, which they had laid claim to following different primaries held in different locations in the state, and which they now seek following the nullification of all primaries by an Ogun State High Court. Last week, we had one of these governorship hopefuls on the program, Mr. Segun Sowunmi, who posited that the many court cases on the ticket are inevitable, particularly when the party chooses to obey the dictates of a cult of human personalities. Indeed, those were his words. Well, today we're privileged to get a different perspective from, as it is said in Nigerian parlance, another of those three political gladiators. Welcome to Hard Copy. We'll be right back. Thank you for joining us on today's edition of Hard Copy. My guest today is a former member of the House of Representatives and Ogun State governorship hopeful of the People's Democratic Party, Honorable Ladi Adebutu. Welcome to Hard Copy, and thank you for your patience.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, indeed. News just in says that the National Working Committee of the party has decided to appeal that court decision of an Ogun State High Court ordering fresh primaries. While that has a lot of implications, and we could just dive in and begin to explore that, let's just establish a bit of a background, as we did with your rival or member of your party last week, Mr. Segun Sowunmi, by establishing the history, so to speak, of the dispute within the People's Democratic Party in Ogun State. How much of it do you think is rooted in the division caused by leaders of the party when a former governor had to form another party, the PDM to be precise, in 2011?
Well, I'm not aware a former governor formed any party called PDM. I am aware at some stage an offshoot of the party called PPN came into existence.
I beg your pardon, that should be PPN. Yes.
Yeah, and it would not be fair to ascribe that formation to the gentleman. The party came into existence called the PPN. And when PPN came into existence, it had run its course. And I think, by and large, it came to finality. And the party continued. I don't sincerely believe the recent happenings has anything to do with the existence of the PPN.
But before we begin to talk about the others who are laying claims to the ticket, but do you agree that since that time, it has never been quite the same for the PDP anymore, and the divisions have cost you what would have been election victories at subsequent governorship elections and even state assembly elections in Ogun State?
Yes, the party has had differences, and yes, we could have won the last election, simply for the fact that people continued to behave as if they were not members of this party. It was not the fact that we had differences and ran different courses and we had PPN at some stage. The last loss of the election was because of a gentleman or a man called Buruji Kasham. And Kasham, for all intents and purposes, he showed us that he was not even about the People's Democratic Party. And what we see now, we see copycat episodes of that same trait when people actually behave as non-members of this party.
Just as a follow-up to that, well, some would say in Ogun State that your popularity is not in doubt, particularly after the demise of the former senator that you just mentioned now, God rest his soul, Buruji Kasham. So is your claim to the structure of the party the fact that you took responsibility and funded it following the demise of Senator Kasham?
It's not about funding. It's about creating leadership. And it's not about following the demise of Senator Kasham. When Senator Kasham was alive, I ran a veritable portion of the party successfully. And while Senator Kasham was whining and dining with the APC and doing business with the APC, I was true to the cause, and I did my best to propagate the teachings and the ideology of the People's Democratic Party. And I was the true face of the party. And nobody could really say where Senator Kasham belonged to. And that was why throughout the whole process, the party kept on insisting that I was the candidate of the party.
And even though you dismiss the activities of your rival, Mr. Showunmi, as shenanigan now, do you deny that through all of that, he as well stood for unity within the party and in fact brokered that all factions come together?
Segun Showunmi never participated in any primary. Segun Showunmi got a handful of people and went to a Wiroi, a hangout for pressmen, and conducted a so-called primary on his own. I don't know how that would translate into some kind of unity arrangement. To be true Democrats, we must compete. To be true Democrats, people must win and people must lose. And after the process, winners and losers must emerge, and we must go forth from that process and embrace ourselves. Segun Showunmi never participated at all. And the moment he fomented whatever he was up to, even before the process came to a head, even before the results were available, Segun Showunmi was all over the news waves and declared himself winner.
I beg your pardon, if I could just interject there. Before we come to the contention over the primaries, one of the things in contention and for which your rivals have taken you to court for is the delegates list, which they say is not in tandem with the outcome of ward congresses that was held in all 20 local government areas in Ogun State. How did you come about your own delegate list? And one of the questions they're asking is, did you conduct ward congresses for which a delegates list was produced that is now responsible for your emergence as a candidate victorious at the governorship primaries?
The Electoral Act states clearly that the national body of the party shall empower a panel, and a panel shall go to the states and perform the function of overseeing election of 3 delegates per ward. The results of those elections shall be returned to that panel, That panel shall return that result to the national body. The national body shall transmit the list of those delegates to INEC. I use the word shall. No ambiguity. No ambiguity. But somehow, in Nigeria, strange things happen. A man comes along the way, 7 weeks to primaries from APC. He claims he's joined the party in good faith. You're welcome. And he now runs parallel delegate elections for these 3 delegates. He now carries the results of these 3 delegates to INEC directly in contravention of the Electoral Act. In contravention of the Electoral Act. And somebody has told me INEC received them. I don't know. Thank God. Outside of all the courts of first instance, the courts have thrown these things out. We saw it in the case of Edo State. We were told you cannot create delegate list yourself. It is solely in the purview of the party, national party, to own its delegate list. Jimmy Lawal cannot create his own delegate list. PDP National owns his delegate list.
All right, Honorable Adebutu, we'll get to the primaries. Mr. Jibril Lawal is not here, and we believe that we'll give him an opportunity to respond sufficiently to those allegations. But I'd like you to respond to those allegations leveled against you since you are here. Did the party address the grievances of those who protested at your party secretariat, saying that their own delegates list was discountenanced in recognition of yours, which belongs to a group of a few within the Ogun PDP?
The party has mechanisms for genuine protests. If genuinely they had complaints that could be sustained, they went through these processes and they failed. But that is the basis of democracy. Some people must win, some people must lose. But for somebody that came into the party 7 weeks to election, 7 weeks, and the party accepted the person in good faith, you must respect PDP as a very, very wholesome party.
But the other individual who has always been a member of the party is also challenging your delegates list. If Mr. Lawal came into the party just 7 weeks to the election.
Show me is not challenging that list. Show me did not participate at all. What you are not discussing, maybe because you are not fully aware, is that there's a third group. The third group is this group of Buruji resurrects. These resurrects from the Buruji group, they did not even buy forms. They did not even partake in the 300 of delegates. They don't have delegates. They did not participate at all. They were not screened. They sat in one corner and they claimed they had done some primaries.
Honorable Adebutu, Mr. Shomi was on the program last week. Perhaps he may not have contested the delegates list in court. He contested the delegates list on the program and submitted that where the primaries reconducted in a free and fair contest with an authentic delegate list that is not in control of some persons within the party, he would win. But that aside, let's now go to the results. Let's go to the results of the elections.
Excuse me, please. Excuse me, please. I am here to enlighten you and enlighten the public. I am not talking about Sugar Candy Island. I am telling you the facts as they stand today. What is in contention today is not about Segun Shomi. Segun Shomi is not in play. He's not in play at all.
And I'd like us to explore all the angles to the contests.
Today, and what is in play today is the fact that there is litigation that has kept the names of PDP candidates off the list of INEC, and it is not because Shomi is contending anything. It is because this third group, the Buruji offshoots, have now asked the courts that despite the fact that they did not buy forms or participate in any primaries, they should be given automatic rights and be.
And you have sufficiently made that point, even though you didn't answer my question earlier about whether you conducted what congresses that produced a delegate list or not.
And
Pardon me.
We shall not succumb to that unwholesome judgment, that unusual, unheard of kind of judgment,
and
such that
and your point has been taken.
The judge now awards something not even asked for by the plaintiff. They have not even asked for new primaries. Nobody has asked for new primaries. But the judge, in his own wisdom, has said, go and have fresh primaries. We don't want fresh primaries.
Perhaps we should review the old primaries, since you're standing on that and insisting that you are the duly recognized
the only primary
candidate.
It is not the old primary. It is the only primary.
Well, that's your position. At the parallel primary yes, conducted by the other faction, the outcome of the results...
There is no other primary. It is the only primary.
Just hold on. Mr. Shomi polled 554 votes to beat his closest rival, who garnered 30 votes, while you polled at your own primary, which you call the only primary, conducted at the Olusegun Obasanjo Library. You polled a total of 714 votes, while the others polled 0 votes each. Can you please explain the results, this outcome? How come you got 714 votes while the other candidates got no vote at all?
Well, in the first place, there was a third contestant, very interesting. The person bought the form. I've never heard of the person. I've never seen the person. And the person did not even show up for the election. Very interesting. Maybe the person just simply bought the form for the purpose of it should appear in the person's CV that he was a contestant. We don't know the person. I don't know the person. That was the third person. The other person was Jimmy Lawal. Jimmy Lawal was present. We shook hands. We were both at the venue during the process of accreditation. But somehow, during the process of accreditation, my dear brother, he left for a side room. And I thought maybe he went for a rest. After we had spent a few minutes together in a good spirit of camaraderie, only to learn that he had disappeared. So, how do you hold me responsible for 0 votes? When you abandon sheep, the tendency is that followers will abandon as well. Maybe if he had stayed, he could have lost, but at least some people would have continued to vote for him. But my man, he ran away. He abandoned sheep. Maybe the moment he sensed that he was going to lose, he abandoned sheep. So
is it that he sensed he was going to lose, or he contested the delegates list and as a result refused to participate in that primary?
No. He contested. INEC was there. He contested. He willingly contested.
As we make progress, one of the suits also instituted against you, in that suit, the accusation is that the state exco purchased your form for you. Is that true?
Yes.
And how proper is that in the light of the circumstances where state executives are expected to be
my question is this.
Unbiased.
I quickly answered you yes. Is there a provision in our constitution that says the state exco cannot purchase a phone for anybody?
Is it any surprise then that the party is where it is today following the outcome of the governorship primaries in the state?
There's no problem. At the end of the day, we will separate the wheat from the chaff. Those that are truly PDP will stay, and those that are not PDP will go where they're supposed to go.
It's just about 140 days to the election, and your party, the National Working Committee, has decided to challenge that court order ordering fresh primaries. Yeah. It would seem like the state PDP is headed for the election from a divided front. Are you also aware? Are you also taking into cognizance the fact that you are headed for yet another loss in the next governorship election? You're not worried.
Our structure is intact.
You're not worried that you're headed for another loss, election loss?
We are not worried at all. Those that are truly of us are with us. Those that are not with us, let them stay where they are.
Let's manage our time now, Honorable Adebutu. Your campaign slogan is something to the effect of One United Southwest. Please clarify it and speak to us more about it. Speak to us more about it.
My slogan is Say Lado One Nigeria, because I believe in one Nigeria. However, this issue of Southwest you are going about, let me help you. I think you are picking that from this my statement from this
the PDP campaigns in Abeokuta.
Yes. My statement, maybe because of the shortness of time, I couldn't really expatiate. the Northwest Nigeria, Southwest Nigeria, we have been privileged to have opportunity to govern extensively. That is why I said Obasanjo has governed, Shoneko has governed, even presently, my senior at Adebutu College is still vice president.
All right, Honorable Adebutu, it remains to be seen how PDP would unite even Ogun State, because the PDP under your leadership in Ogun State is not united, and the other factions were not at that PDP campaign. I apologize, we have completely run out of time. I want to thank you very much. Honorable Ladi Adebutu has been my guest on Hard Copy today. Thank you very much for your time and thoughts on the program. I apologize, but we have completely run out of time. And that's,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. With my guest's disposition today on the program, it appears it's yet another case of no retreat, no surrender for feuding groups in Ogun PDP. And the coming days are bound to be interesting as we wait to see the outcome of many court cases and the reactions to follow by the candidates. Yours to what's happening now within Ogun PDP are welcome on the handle showing on your screen. Thank you for watching. I am Bukola Samuel Wemimo. Bye for now.